Hey, welcome to Off the Air, episode 10 now, Bree.
Yes.
I'm Mando Fresko.
I'm Bryhana.
Bree,
Yes.
how excited are you about episode 10?
I'm super excited, and I'm excited because I got a new haircut.
It looks great.
Thank you.
Looks amazing.
And I got new highlights. I wanted to match Mondo's hair color, but he has a hat on today. So
I knew it.
all good.
Should I take it off?
No, we don't want to see what's going on underneath there.
So, we've been doing a lot of great podcasts when it comes to, I feel, hopefully, motivating and inspiring everyone that watches and listens. By the way, we're on iHeartRadio now, Spotify, YouTube, Google Podcasts, everywhere. Wherever you can find a podcast, we're on. So you have no excuses now.
None.
To listen to every single podcast. But yeah, we've been talking about our personal experiences, and our first topic today is kind of deep.
Yeah.
So Bree, I
gotta kick it off.
Have you ever felt, or do you ever feel like quitting?
So I feel like I have felt like quitting in the past, especially like when you first are trying to get into your career field. I think for me, like, man, radio was just so tough to get in the doors. I'm like, I feel like this is not going to happen for me. Like there's so many no's and you're almost there. And I'm like, man, I almost was on the morning show for Radio Disney. I almost got the weekend spot at iHeart at this other station. And I kept trying and trying and trying. My mom was like, I think you should like come home. Mm-hmm. And I was like, no, like I can't quit. Like I packed my bags. I moved here. Like once I graduated college, I have to be doing this because I already started. You know what I mean? Like if I'm here and I just gave up, I didn't give it my all. And I think we all have those moments in our life where it's like, is this going to happen? So yeah, I've definitely felt like quitting, and I'm so glad that I didn't. And I just hope that whoever's listening to this, do not quit. It might take you 10 years, but you'll still get there.
Yeah.
Like if you keep trying, it's bound to happen eventually,
Right. I'm glad you said 10 years because a lot of people who get into this, they think it's going to happen within one.
Right away. No.
2, 3, 4, and even 5, and it doesn't happen that way.
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes you might catch a break, and then you have something great going, and then again, like you might have a little slump, and again, like you said, if you continue to put in the work, I mean, it's gonna come eventually.
And it sounds so cliche, but I think like with social media, you see people just driving Ferraris and all these YouTubers like living their best lives, but it's like you gotta stick to your journey. Your journey is meant for you. And, we might see other people get it quickly and you might have to take 15, 10 years.
Right.
But that's part of your story, So important. Did you ever feel like quitting at one point?
Yeah, all the time. It sounds like a joke.
Yeah, it does. You're just like smiling all the time.
All the time. Yeah. No, you know what? I'm gonna be very, very honest with you. I have felt like quitting, and from time to time I feel like quitting. And here's the thing. I always tell myself that the day that I do something where I don't feel like quitting, and then I'm not challenging myself enough.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So like there's days where I'm just really working my butt off, and I like 15 plus hour days, like back to back to back. And then, I may wake up and be like, oh, man, do I want to continue to do this? And the question is yes, of course, but I just I ask a lot about from myself. I feel like if you ever feel like quitting, don't think that you're alone, and don't think that it's a bad thing. Just maybe it means you need like a little break or something. You need some me time. You need a little vacay, or a staycay,
like a reset.
Yeah.
And I think that like people think because it takes so long to just give up, and they also don't understand the amount of work that it takes to get to where you want to be. Like there was weekends, and even now it's like I have to prioritize. I have to schedule things. I have to, like, even when it comes to like going on lunch dates, you got to prioritize your schedule to the point where it's like, all right, I will meet with you March 10th at this time with my friends. And it sounds extra, but it's what you have to do right now just to prioritize your time. Like, it's all about the journey and just patience, you know, and like it's so important.
No, you're right. I mean, patience, you know, they say patience is virtue, but like, you know, patience is really, it has so much to do with what we do on a daily basis, but just in life, I feel like patience is, if patience has so much to do with your, even your mental health. If you have patience, you'll just be calm. No matter what happens, you know. And you know, you said something about social media and earlier about like people driving like their Ferraris or whatever it is, and you're like, man, I feel like the worst things and worst thing that we can do is compare yourself to someone else, and it's so easy to do it nowadays on social. But that's the worst thing you can do, is look at someone, and it's probably not even social. It could be like your friend or a cousin. You know, hey, my cousin just got married. Like, man, like, when am I gonna get married? You know, why haven't I? Like, oh,
why hasn't it happened to me?
Right,
you know,
right, and you can't think that way. Yet it's so easy. But like the minute that you deprogram yourself to think that way, I mean, you'll move differently. You'll think a lot more positive. But yeah, I mean, that's a slippery slope. It's a hole that you can like easily just dive into just by comparing yourself. And then, you know, if someone gets a raise or something at work and you're like, why wasn't it me?
Right. Means you just got to work harder.
Your time will come.
Your time will come. You know, I think use that as fuel to like really hone in on what you want. Write it down, say it every day. Like, words of affirmation are really good. And like, I try, like, it seems like, man, at work, like so-and-so got a raise and I didn't. All right, it wasn't meant for me.
Right.
Keep going. Now I got to work 10 times harder, you know? If anything that pushes me and go to the gym, like, let me do this extra couple reps because I need to obviously take more time for myself and just focus on you, not the other person.
Yeah. Now, speaking of work, talk to me about your biggest pet peeve, about your career, about just like your daily routine.
Pet peeve about people at work, or just in general?
I mean, go ahead, blast everybody. No, more so like what bothers you about maybe like the industry, or like, or something that bothers you that comes around every so often, and you're like, oh, I wish I didn't have to deal with that.
I don't know if this is like answering the question, but I think for me, my biggest pet peeve is people at work who don't work. Like, people are so quick, and Cece and I talk about this all the time. She's on the morning show for K-Day.
What up, Cece?
And it's like, people call women difficult, and it's like, I'm not difficult. I'm difficult because I like to work. And what did she say? She said, I think for me, it's like, I guess what we're saying is that people say that you're difficult because you like to work and they can't keep up with you. And it's like, man, she came to work today. And it's like, yeah, like our quote, my team, we always say, you were doing a radio show here, you know? And I think like people just don't like to see people thrive. I don't know what it is. And it's like, no shade on anybody, but I'm always trying to go above and beyond.
People like to see you do good. Just not better than them.
Not better than them. And it's like, am I difficult to work with just because I like to work and I like to go above and beyond? Like, I was a kid in school where it's like you could write 5 to 10 page papers and I would write 10. That's just my mindset. I always try to just go above and beyond. Literally, I keep saying that, but it's so true, you know?
Yeah.
What would you say your pet peeve is?
My pet peeve is when people are just rude and disrespectful. You know, I could never understand that, especially like in the workplace. I don't understand. I mean, I've been in the industry for many years, and I see people like yell at someone else, like, you know, just put someone down. It's even like higher ups, I've seen, and it's sad because here's the thing, if you hire someone to be on your team, you need to uplift them, right? Like you put them in the position because you believe in them and you trust.
You want to see them shine.
Them, right.
Yeah.
So what I don't understand is how, like, even, whether it could be an intern or it could be someone that is that you personally hired. I'm talking about like people in a higher position that hires. I don't understand why you would ever talk down to people. That's probably my number one biggest pet peeve. It's like, be humble, be good to people. And outside of just like a career or a job, like just we're human. Like just be good to another human. You know what I'm saying? So that I'll never understand.
I know. And I think for me, when that type of stuff happens, I just try to flip it. It's like, all right, well, I know how not to treat people. Like yesterday I spoke at Chapman University and my intern came and he filmed and took photos.
Nice.
And CC and I were speaking to the students and he goes, excuse me. Like, what is he doing? I just got to say something, as an intern, from an intern's perspective. And I'm like, so Kenny's like a very like silly guy,
Oh,
he said, what did he say about you?
I love Kenny.
You look like a desert or something. I don't know.
Yeah, he said, anyway. I was rocking like I don't know. It was like a all tan outfit. And he's like, you look like a desert.
Anyway,
it was a compliment. Hey,
it was a compliment. He's a silly guy. So he goes, I just wanted to let you guys know from an intern perspective, like you be resourceful. He was like, I work for Bryhana and I see how hard she works every single day. And that pushes me to go above and beyond. And he's like, he holds up the camera and he's like, I don't know how to use this thing, but I learned because I wanted to be resourceful for her.
Yeah.
I was like, what can I do to help her? And I was like, wow, without even asking him to do these things, he just does it. And it's like, because he sees the way I move in the studio, he wants to make sure he could be on the same energy as
That's
me.
great.
And I'm like, it's not hard to be nice. It's not hard to motivate, to inspire. It's like we could all win.
Yep.
But some people just don't see it that way, unfortunately.
Was this a high school or a college?
This is a college, Chapman
Nice.
University.
Oh, okay. University. I missed that part.
It's okay.
What would you tell yourself when you first started college or when you were in high school? What would you tell your younger self?
I would say the
today?
drama does not matter. For girls, they're so catty, man. Like it's so challenging in school. And I would go to my parents and be like, Mommy, why doesn't so-and-so like me? Daddy, my dad literally till this day, and I remember he'll sit down with me and he was like, Bryhana, 5 years from now, none of this is going to matter. And I used to think that it was like, oh my God, the worst thing ever, you know, that people did not like me or how I would dress. And it's like, I would have told myself to not allow these little things to affect you as much as they are. Yeah. Don't let them impact your life, you know? That's what I would have told myself. What would you have told yourself?
You know what? No, it's funny because like I'm thinking the same thing, and more so like don't give people power that don't deserve it.
Yeah.
You know, like if someone was putting you down or making you feel, you know, less confident about yourself.
Yep.
I mean, I give their words so much power.
Yeah.
And it's like, why? they didn't deserve that.
No.
You know, and I mean, this is you know, right out of high school, I started in radio, and you know there were people that I looked up to, and I'd give just because I looked up to them. Their words held so much weight, right? And you know, little jokes here and there, things that you know bothered me. They were really get to me.
Yeah.
I remember it was weird. Like it was just one day. I think I was going to post something on Twitter one day. And then it would constantly happen where I would type it out, and then I would think to myself, man, you know what? I don't want to post this because what if so-and-so sees it? And then it just hit me one day where I was like, I don't give damn,
Yeah.
who cares, right? And the minute that happened, Bree, it was a life changer for me. Like,
flip the switch for you.
The minute that I stopped caring what other people thought or what their perception was of me, or the minute I removed that power from them, it was a game changer for me.
Now, how did you do that? How did you flip the switch? You just woke up and we were like,
you know what? I think you just start to realize your value. You know, the value in yourself and what you do. You're in your craft, and you start thinking like, man, I'm dope. You know, like.
But what made you like? Where did you like realize your value? Because I feel like a lot of people don't know their value.
Right.
What did you write it down? Like,
I think it just happened, you know, over a course of time.
It
just started like I just started growing, like my self-esteem, my confidence.
So it just builds over time, you would say.
Yeah, and you know what's funny? A good friend of mine recently told me, he's like, hey man, I remember when I first met you, I was 18, and he's like, man, you must have been the most confident 18-year-old I've ever met.
Wow.
And I think about when I was 18, and I wasn't as confident as maybe I was given off, or perceived, or out of my entire high school year. We're going when I was 2 years old, everybody. No, look, I'll make it quick. When I was in high school, I was really quiet. I was I was shy. I was timid. And then around from 18 to 20, I really like just came out of that. I burst out of my shell, and I think it had a lot to do with just like, you know, just knowing that I was good. Like I was good at what I did, and I was a good person. And I always feel like if you work hard and you're a good person, you can't lose.
Yeah.
Right. So I just felt that off the back. And yeah, like, I mean, it didn't happen overnight. But even though one day it did seem like it was like a switch, but that switch, it took a couple of years for me to like turn it on.
Did someone tell you, or it just like flipped in your brain? Like, because something similar happened to me when I was 18. Like I was just like, man, I'm super talented. Like, what am I doing? Like, why am I allowing certain things to like get to me? And I think for me, it's like around that time frame, that's when like it just flipped, and I was like, I have, you know, I'm above and beyond, and I can do so much. And it's like, I feel like a lot of people, they don't understand their value, and I'm just trying to see like at what point. I think maybe just over time and like growth will probably be that like answer. I would say there's no like actual answer. Patience. You know, patience. Yeah, patience is key.
No, and you know, it's okay to go through that part of your life. I think we at one point, you know, we don't feel as comfortable, or you know, we have some insecurities from time to time. But you know, I think it's important to be confident. And you said earlier, man, I knew I was talented, and you know,
not in a cocky way.
No, that's what I was gonna say. It's like, it's okay to say that.
Yeah,
it's frowned upon if you feel like, you know, Kanye, for example. It's like, oh, I'm the greatest of all time. I'm this. I'm the Walt Disney of our generation, and people are like, man, shut up, right? But here's the thing: it's okay to know that about yourself. Now, you know, I'm not saying, you know, walk around and tell everybody like, yo, I'm the best, I'm the greatest. I'm not saying that, but like, be confident in yourself, and it's okay to tell yourself, hey, I'm great at what I do. I'm talented, and you could do that and still be humble.
And who has a lot of talent is Megan Thee Stallion.
Yeah.
And she even said on her Instagram live, she was just like, Megan. There's no new music coming out because her record label was basically like holding her hostage from like dropping new music.
Yeah.
I feel like that label thing is just really challenging. It's like,
since the beginning of time.
Yeah, they try to trap you from dropping new music, but now it looks like she is, and she's like taking them to court. And I think that's a whole thing within itself. But it's like, you would think somebody who's so popping wouldn't even be going through the things that she's going through. But she is, you know, and it sucks. But I love the fact that she's not allowing it to stop her, unless it was a publicity stunt, which I hope that that's not the case. But she is dropping new music. She has Kehlani on there, I think, and I think Gunna or something. But I think it's dope, you know.
It happens to artists a lot, and I feel like, you know, it's like those gatekeepers that prevent her from releasing music. Man, I've heard horror stories from artists that, you know, an artist that owns it happens a lot when like an artist owns a label and they stop their artists from like releasing more music, almost as if like they're kind of like just blocking that whole situation, like, or kind of hating on their own artists. I don't know. That doesn't make any sense. But like labels do that. I don't know why. And like, I mean, I remember that happened to a tornado flew around my room by Frank Ocean.
Oh yeah.
So
he had to sing the song real quick.
So Frank Ocean, it happened to him. He was going by another name, and then right before he changed his name to Frank Ocean, he was going through that.
Even
whole thing.
her, I think her went through that too.
Yeah.
Her original name was like Gabby something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it happens all the time. How would you say is the best way to deal with like gatekeepers? Because it happens to all of us. There's always like one person that is
trying to hold you hostage.
Yeah, or trying to hold you back.
I just think keep creating. Like, use that as fuel. That's my answer to everything. Like, nothing. I just feel like I'm such at a point in my life right now that anybody who's trying to do something negative and trying to like attack, there's no way for you to do that. Like, I have so much confidence in myself and where I'm headed. You're gonna try to stop me, and that's fine. You could try, but I just know that that's not gonna be the case. Like, I'm gonna keep going. And I'm going to go 10 times harder. And I'm going to keep smiling, and I'm going to keep dressing up, and I'm going to keep coming and like correct every single day.
Right.
Because I know my worth and I know where I'm headed. What about you?
I agree.
Gems during this podcast.
I agree. I'm with you on that. I mean, I think the best, you got to kill them with kindness.
Kindness, yep.
You know, you got to kill them with success. You got to kill them with just hard work, you know? And here's the thing. Yes, there are gatekeepers, but there are thousands of gates. You know what I'm saying? It's not just like this one person. You can never be like, oh man, I can't because this person's like hating on me. Like, yo, go somewhere else.
People get depressed. People be in their rooms. It's like, no, this is actually great for you. This gives you a reason to get up and to go even harder now. Right. It's like, if you needed that motivation, here it is. You know, you got to use that. You got to flip it. And I think a lot of people just, they forget about that. They just kind of get caught up in the moment. It's so easy to just be trapped in that. Like, man, they're not letting me win.
Right.
It's like, no, actually you're really winning right now.
That's what they want you to think. You know, it's the whole Khaled thing. They don't want you to win. But what are you going to do? You're going to win.
You got the keys. You literally have the keys to success, like right in the palm of your hands. Yeah.
What do you say that your success is attributed to the law of attraction?
Absolutely.
How so?
Absolutely. Well, I just speak a lot of things into existence, and I say it over and over and over again without even putting too much like thought into it. I just, you know, if there's certain things that I want and I see it happen, sometimes it's kind of scary. Like the next day, I'm just like, whoa. Like the time where I was like, a couple weeks ago when I interviewed Jim Carrey, and I was just like, literally red carpets. You already know the challenge of like interviewing the bigger celebs.
Yeah.
And I literally was just telling everybody, I'm going to interview Jim Carrey today. I'm going to interview Jim Carrey today, not knowing I was or not, right. But I was so confident that I was that I did.
Because most of the time they'll just like walk through and just like wave.
And they did. They walked through and I said, Jim, is it okay? Jim, is it okay if I just get one question from you? And he's like, yeah. And I'm just like, he literally was walking past people and just not even paying attention. But somehow I managed to just do it. It was just the law of attraction. I just think I just manifested that and a lot of other things. But yeah, absolutely. What about you?
Yeah, manifesting is definitely important, and you always got to visualize yourself in that position.
Yeah. And that's why it's really quick. You have to be careful of what you put into the universe.
Yes.
Even when it's like negative things, like, man, I'm just so broke today. Well, you're going to be broke today. Like, you just have to keep making sure you have positive
and you're going to
energy.
continue to be.
Yeah. I'm sorry, I cut
if you
you
think
off.
that way.
Yeah.
No, I was just saying that, just manifesting is very important. It's important because, for example, with me, I've always visualized myself doing whatever it is that I have done in my life and career, right? So like I remember saying that I was going to be on Power, right?
Yeah.
I remember saying, I'm going to be a host on MTV, and I remember, I'm going to work for Viacom, and I'm going to work in Miami and in New York, and I'm going to, one day own my own company, and like there's these things that I always told myself and told people, shared with peers, and it's a very thin line there when you're sharing things. Like you don't want to share too much because then you're just going to sound like, all right, here we go. This guy's talking about what, he's not going to do shit. But here's the thing, it's different. Like it's not like I was saying, man, I'm going to be a millionaire next year, man. It's like realistic goals, right? It's like, hey, next year I'm going to take another step. I'm going to, grow my reel or my, I'm going to whatever it is that you want to do.
Yeah, like an acting class or
right. Those type of things. Yeah. And sometimes they're baby steps. At the same time, for example, right now, something that I'm sharing with peers is for Hubwav, right? Where do I see Hubwav going? And I see Hubwav creating content, programming for Hulu, for Netflix. And that's what I see us doing here in the near future. And it's going to happen. And it's going to happen because everything else that I've said that I was gonna do, it's happened. But it doesn't just happen just because I'm talking about it. Here's the trick: is you talk about it and then you make a plan to get yourself to
execute,
that
right
place, right? You can't just be like, yo, I'm gonna be hosting I'm gonna be the next Oprah.
Yeah.
You gotta like plan it out and work towards that direction.
Yeah.
Man, I honestly love all these topics. And if you have a question or a topic that you would like for us to discuss, talk about, please let us know. You can reach me at Mando Fresko.
At It's Bryhana.
And at Hubwav Media. We appreciate you listening and watching episode 10.
And also, huge shout out to the ladies. It's Women's History Month.
Yeah.
Yes, I just want to thank my mother, my sister, and all the ladies, independent ladies who are just going above and beyond and also listening to our podcast.
Yeah, man. Thank you so much. Again, episode 10, Mando, Bryhana, off the air. Yep.